Studio said they were interested in a franchise. I just said to the studio, you know, this isn't a meeting. My son and I can write that in a month. And we just wrote like maniacs, and in 1 month we wrote the whole script.
You know, we've worked together before, but we've never worked together this closely. So for me, it was an opportunity to not only work with my father, but to learn from one of the masters of horror.
The script, it's got a lot more jumps than anything we've done before. It's more frightening. It's Wes at his best, working with his son, who's really, really clever.
It's that dark humor that seems to run in the Craven genes. That with me, it was really sharp and dark, and with Jonathan, just is razor sharp and deep darks.
I would say always one of the favorite scenes is just, and everyone always loves this, is the restroom, the shitter scene. This is just a crazy scene.
I think that everybody has a primal fear of going into a dirty porta potty, and we just sort of took that like 5 levels up.
There's nothing in there.
It's down there.
It's kind of the scene that kicks the roller coaster off. It was a lot of fun to shoot. It's a really scary moment, and it's also, I think, pretty funny.
The shitter scene, as we call it, is, to me, the most original scene in the movie. And my friend Jay played the guy in the toilet. Turns out it was stewed prunes, thank God. But that will really freak people out.
There's a scene where somebody has a wallet extracted from a certain part of their body.
Fuck is that in his head?
It was a totally last-minute suggestion. Everybody just thought it was so hilarious and so crazy and so disturbing that they made it happen really quickly, and it's one of my favorite parts of the movie.
I always ask myself, with anything that I write, in this case co-write, is like, have I seen this before? If it's a scene that I've seen before in another movie, I either say, well, forget that, or let's turn it on its head.
You don't have a fucking clue!
It does take a little bit more to shock people, but it's really about building a group of characters that you really care about and then seeing them tested to the nth degree.
These guys had to climb mountains, and they all did rope climbing training, and they had to be out in the hot Moroccan sun for 12 hours a day for weeks on end.
It was fun, and it helped a lot to understand what our characters are going through and to understand their relationships, you know, having to train so intensely and how that bonds people together.
First week that we were here was an incredible bonding experience because we went through the boot camp.
We were marching and, you know, learning how to hold the guns, shoot the guns, and just sort of doing things as a unit.
Sticking together in, what, like 115-degree heat was quite a challenge.
I've had a blast working on it. It's also been 2 of the hardest months that I've had working as an actor. It's just that constant physical endurance of keeping your energy up in the middle of smoke and water and desert sun.
The characters that actually made it into the mines had to get wet and climb, and there was dust everywhere, outside and in. It was a very tough shoot.
I had no idea what I was getting into. None whatsoever. Never done as many stunts in my life. They'll have me harnessed, got like a little tiny tank top thing on, and yet I've got layers, like that thick worth of harnesses underneath this little thing that they've sewn into my shirt, and I'm dangling 2 stories high, like in a thing full of water up to here, and the floor breaks loose, and I'm, whoo, you know, drop straight down. I never could have imagined some of the stuff. These sets and this, just the action is insane. So much fun.
You're running, you're climbing, you're screaming, you're shooting guns, you're getting stabbed at, you're getting knocked down. It's the most physical thing I've ever done as an actor, and it's absolutely exhausting. You know, you do this for 12, 13 hours a day in the sun. And then we move into the studio in the second half of the shoot, and we're all like, oh, this is great. We're gonna be inside, we're gonna be away from the sun, but it's like, no, now you have to climb down the slide and like land in a giant pile of dirt. You're gonna have gallons of water poured on, freezing water poured on you. You're gonna have to cover yourself in mud. So it kind of turned into this really like strange fun house inside, you know, the studio. And I think by the time, you know, we get finished with this shoot, we're gonna end up looking like a couple of these guys.
We all knew going towards Azad, especially from the experience on the last one, it wouldn't be easy. You know, you see all their footage from the last film and they're like, this is wind every day. And we did eat the shit. And you have like really hard conditions on every actor in terms of physical. So it's a tough ground to shoot. But the exterior shots, the scope, the landscapes and everything, it's quite amazing.
We're out here in Morocco for the reasons of getting big, huge landscapes. I mean, the vistas we get around here are massive, so you get the feeling of the hills.
You know, the farther up the mountain, the wilder things happen, because the hills people are like underneath the surface of the whole place, which we quickly learn when the first of the soldiers dies by being pulled through a little tiny aperture in the rocks down into the earth itself. And the only way out, when they get to the peak and are trapped because all their climbing ropes are stolen, is to go back down through the mines.
We want to try and make it as claustrophobic and as dark as possible when you go underground, because that's what's really scary. We're filling the place with smoke and dust and water, and so everybody's been working in beautiful sunshine for the last 3.5 weeks of the shoot. And now for the next 3.5 weeks of the shoot, everybody's in dark spaces, having water poured on their heads, and this is the crew as well. It doesn't get any easier.
We have situations where they have to climb through metal tubes, you know, dirt tubes, and they get stuck, and there's lots of situations where they're trapped and very uncomfortable, and they get wet as well. And then we have tunnels and caves and all sorts of things all over. 2 stages full of sets. We've all got ceilings, very low. The actors actually have to duck to go through some of the sets.
The kind of very first things that we talked about were the caves, you know, what it was going to be like underground. There's a lot of shadows, and you don't know what's lurking in the shadows. You've got the very stylistic kind of shafts of light and things like that, but you've got no idea what's hiding behind them.
It stinks in here.
Well, obviously, when you start to design a film, it takes on its own life, and it goes through stages of development. I mean, if you look at these drawings here, these 3 at the bottom here, these were 3 of the first drawings I did. And this inspires, this gets the adrenaline going, this gets the director interested, it gets me to know what he wants, and it gets people talking. When we came to the butcher's room, this is the most gruesome room of all, this has got all the dead bodies in it. I probably went a little bit over the top, but it's good to do that, you know, it's good to sort of, for the director to be able to say, okay, that's too much, or whatever.
The vibe on set, you know, is a lot of jokes, a lot of laughs, which I think is needed to balance out the intensity of what we're doing.
What the fuck? Cool, got it. It was actually perfect.
Martin gives us a guideline, gives us where he wants to see the scene go, but it's just like free range. Do what feels right and is natural.
All right, let me get you guys. Let me see a half-speed rehearsal, okay?
Hey, rehearsing?
We start with you saying blam.
All right.
And ready, and action.
Bam! Gotcha.
Nice. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. It's not bad. No, it's okay. were very much aware that this is actually going to be bigger, wider, faster, louder, you know? That was the only way to go, really.
Come on, bitch!
There's a great shot when Crank blows up the... Actually, he blows just himself up, but he tries to blow up the blast door. I really like the scene, how he moves out with the dynamite, and it works great, and it's his response, and he knows he's fucked up. Fuck! But it's just so his character.
Uh-oh. Fuck. Fuck.
Fuck! Okay. Make it quick. Fuck.
Fuck.
Give me another fuck.
Fuck!
There's a comical aspect to it, you know? It's great. If you turn around, you're like, doing, and then you see it. So you come all around the wire. Give me that fuck one more time. I like this one.
Uh-oh. Fuck! Fire in the hole! Go!
There's a lot more action in this movie. There's a lot more really heightened, scary moments, a lot more jumps. And it's a bloodier film. It kind of takes all those wonderful moments you enjoyed from the first film and cranks it up, you know, a lot.
The story stands alone and is really powerful and really disturbing, and yet it's unique to The Hills Have Eyes. So those are the elements that I'm proud of.
It's been kind of a fun experience just to find out how flexible and vital filmmaking is. It's like the Hills people, you know. If it has to, it'll hunker down in a tunnel and survive and make little horror films. And if it gets a chance, it'll take over the world.